Tehran, it's become a ritual. Every year, in front of the United States Embassy, the regime remembers its most celebrated coup, the taking hostage of 56 American diplomats on November 4th, 1979. They were held hostage for 444 days during the Islamic Revolution. 33 years later, the atmosphere is still triumphant. The slogan of the day, "America, look, even if we're women, we will beat you." In a black and green chador, 19-year-old Zora. She studies financial management.
We are here to affirm our existence. You kill our nuclear engineers. Do you think you can kill us all? We, the students, we follow the example of these martyrs. We follow the path of our imam. As long as we live, we will defend the Islamic Republic.
It's the same every year. Zora comes to protest with her friends from university. They are all members of the Basij, the regime's militia.
If America continues with the same politics, we will destroy it. We will sweep them clean from the map.
Still the same bitterness, 3 decades on. This year, there are fewer dignitaries present, but the rhetoric is still aggressive. Master OLAMAI is used to the protests. For 30 years, he's been training the elite Basij in the art of karate. To his left is 14-year-old Mandi, one of his best students. He starts their training at a young age.
We have many students. We have a training program in every mosque throughout the country, where we train between 12 and 22 students. And if necessary, they are all ready to defend their neighborhood and their country.
Master OLAMAI's karate school is in a former cinema in the city center, right next to a mosque. We find Mandi there in military fatigues. He does his ablutions, compulsory before prayer. Mandi started karate at the age of 5. Today, he's a black belt. Here, there's no sports training without religious meditation. A hero from the war against Iraq, Master OLAMAI is proud to show us his souvenirs from the front. In particular, a photo of the current supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, who was then president of the Islamic Republic.
That man is the head of all Muslims in the world, our guide. During wartime, he came to the front line to review the troops.
The students are aged from 5 to 35, and all are members of the Basij. The militia permeates every layer of Iranian society, at school, at university, and every government ministry.
The Basij are the defenders of the Islamic Republic. To defend the Islamic Republic is our duty regardless of where we find the enemy. It is ordered by the Sharia law.
They're preparing to confront enemies in or outside the country. To break up protests, the regime doesn't hesitate to mobilize its young volunteers, who are always willing to step forward.
I will do all I can to defend my country.
Would you strike them if necessary, to stop them?
If my leader orders me to, yes, of course.
If there's an international attack on Iran, Master OLAMAI's students, along with millions of other Basij, will be sent to the front. Among their enemies, they list the United States, Israel, and France.
France collaborated with the United States to impose the sanctions. We import numerous products from everywhere, some of which come from countries that participate in the embargo. That puts us in a difficult situation, whether it be France, China or the USA.
For years, the regime has been preparing the country for the worst, boosting the morale of troops. No fear, no pain. This is the message of the Islamic Republic to all its potential enemies. But what lies beyond the official rhetoric? How are Iranians really managing under the international sanctions? It's considered unpatriotic to complain in front of a foreign camera about the impact of the embargo and economic crisis. We're here at Tajrish Market, the only fruit and vegetable market where we were authorized to film.
The prices have increased a lot. Our income is not sufficient.
No, shh. This will be shown on French TV. They're going to say bad things about our country, say the prices are fine.
Oh, the prices are fine.
Everybody should say that all is going well, very well, very well.
If I make 25,000 tomans each month, I must spend 25,000 to live. Everything has increased. The fruit as well, everything.
No, you shouldn't say that. It's French TV. They're not on our side. They don't want us to do well. They prefer that we be like Syria, like Iraq. So they benefit from our oil for free.
We set up a meeting in another market, Tehran's Grand Bazaar. It's the heart of the city, the commercial hub of the country, and perhaps most importantly, an influential political lobby. The wealthy business owners of the bazaar used to oppose the Shah and have always supported the Islamic Republic. They even elected their own presidential candidate, the wealthy Ali Akbar Rafsanjani. For 33 years, the bazaar never criticized the regime. But last year, things became so acute that on October 3rd, unprecedented, the business owners closed their shops and march in the bazaar. In this amateur footage, the merchants shout their anger against the government and its mismanagement in the face of sanctions. The national currency collapses, prices skyrocket, and the value of the dollar soars. The demonstration grows and spreads quickly through the district. Repression is immediate. Police officers disperse the merchants. A few days later, the currency exchange offices were closed and some 30 brokers sent to prison. Today, they risk the death penalty. The government's control over the foreign exchange market is now absolute. Since then, the atmosphere at the bazaar has been tense. Few merchants dare to speak out, not even in the carpet business, the country's second largest sector after oil.
The situation is very bad. Purchasing power has diminished for Iranians. Moreover, there are no longer any foreigners, no tourists, and the Iranians come just to look at the rugs and then they leave.
These two brothers are relatively new to the carpet business. Their friend EHSON continues a long family tradition. His clan maintains excellent relations with those in power. Tea is an unchanging ritual. In Iran, a carpet from Isfahan, Mashhad, or Tabriz is like a painting in the West, an investment for the medium or long term. But today, Iranian clients no longer do business with the merchants.
Sales to individual Iranians have dropped, but sales of carpets for export have multiplied. So that compensates for it.
These carpets are made of wool or silk and with natural colors, hugely popular with American buyers. EHSON benefits from the strong dollar and makes his living by exporting to the US. His business isn't affected by the embargo, as the sanctions don't target carpets. The two brothers, on the other hand, have sold virtually nothing during the past year.
During the time of Khatami, it was wonderful. There were tourists, large foreign companies, Peugeot, Citroën, Total, State Oil, but all of these companies have left. Today, Iran only does business with Chinese companies who sell us poor quality products. And the problem is that the Chinese do not buy carpets. They don't appreciate the culture surrounding carpets.
What caused this crisis?
In my opinion, it's because we paid no attention to what the world was saying to us. We do exactly what we want. That's why we're under pressure. But the sanctions are hurting the middle class, not our political leaders, not the rich. I do not know if it makes a difference to them or not, but their children are at university in the United States and England.
Rich and carefree, the two businessmen are surprisingly outspoken. The same is not true of the workers. With a salary of 125 euros a month, it would take 6 years for this repairman to buy the carpet he's working on. He responds cautiously to our questions. Are you suffering from the crisis?
Yes, it's not going very well.
Tell them that everything is fine.
If it's not, why should I deny it?
Few have the courage to criticize the regime, at least beyond small, private circles. One who does is this shy French-speaking student, who we run into at the bazaar.
It's getting worse and worse. There is no hope. We do not have hope. The government does not understand us.
They don't do what's necessary?
We love our country, but we do not want war. We will defend our government, but they will not defend us.
We're on our way to Kashan, 2 hours' drive from Tehran, an oasis bordering the desert. It's one of the oldest cities of ancient Persia and has always been a center for textiles and carpet weaving. Looms were found in the ancient ruins of the city. Here as well, evidence of the crisis. Dozens of factories are in difficulty. Some no longer pay their workers. Others have simply closed their doors. This is one of the few local industrialists not on the verge of bankruptcy. Thanks to his regional network, Mr. Vojeddi won a large order in neighboring Iraq. His clients, Shia mosques, and not just any mosque. These carpets will decorate the mosques of Karbala, where Imam Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet, was killed. It's a major pilgrimage site for Shias around the world. 280 carpets, a minimum of 3 years guaranteed work for 800 workers. In Iran, business and religion often go hand in hand.
No organisation has created as much work as the cult of Imam Hussein. Look at all the jobs that were created. For commemorations, celebrations, ceremonies, offerings, gifts. All this thanks to Imam Hussein. All these workers have a job thanks to Imam Hussein. The women you see here, they come to work by faith. They weave only for the love of the companions of the Prophet.
But they also work for money, meager salaries they discuss only with reluctance. This young mother is one of the few willing to talk to us.
If we weave well and fast, we earn between 150 and 200,000 tomans each month.
A monthly salary of 50 euros for 6 hours work a day.
It's not enough for a family, but it helps my husband.
Daily life is difficult?
It's a disaster.
In the villages surrounding Kashan, artisans weave on a smaller scale. The workers who have no fixed job in a factory set up their looms at home. Today is the celebration of Eid, and Zainab welcomes her relatives. Her husband is a textile worker. They have 2 children studying at university, and they took full advantage of the booming years of the carpet business. She's not affected by the crisis. She weaves 1 carpet a year.
Following the price increase for wool, many factories closed because it was no longer profitable to weave carpets on an industrial scale. At home, however, it was more profitable. If you can follow the pattern, you can earn well.
For the Eid festival, Zainab invites us to her mother's house in the same village. Together, aunts, sisters, and cousins are preparing a traditional meal, including yogurt. The family works in carpet or textiles. It is very religious and very conservative. In the presence of brothers-in-law and distant cousins, the women cover themselves. They do not wear the black chador, but rather the lighter version with flowers, reserved exclusively for inside. Around the table, the discussion quickly turns to politics.
For 30 years, we've been victims of the US sanctions, but they have no impact on us. Financially, scientifically, in sports, we've made great progress. We also advanced in nuclear energy.
For this family to talk openly about the crisis is close to treason. But after a few questions, some begin to speak their minds.
I am not going to lie to you. It is true that our situation is difficult. Yet we remain supportive of the government. We will not abandon our beliefs just because of the current economic crisis, so we accept these sacrifices.
I'm going to tell you the end of the story. The US will eventually apologize and lift all the sanctions. And in any case, the sanctions have no effect on us.
For now, the government can still count on the support of the most conservative fringes of the population. But for how long? The sanctions in response to the regime's nuclear ambitions are wearing on the Iranian people. Much of the middle class, workers, and the common population is suffocating, and their discontent is growing ever louder. It takes the full weight and might of the regime's security forces to contain their anger.